All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barak Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. This is pretty much basically a response to the video Elder Pastor put up on basic universal income or universal basic income. And I mean, he mentioned that, towards the end of the video, what he was getting at, with the video. I didn't think about that, to be totally honest, when I first heard about it. That he mentioned the H, which is hyperinflation, which that's when the money is so devalued that it takes a whole lot of money, a lot more of those same dollar bills to buy what you would normally buy for $1, $2, $10, whatever the case is. And that did happen, in Zimbabwe. Also happened in the Weimar Republic, but like I said, I wasn't thinking about that particular angle of it, because the scriptures do speak about the scant measure, and the scant measure means something that's, not. It's a false balance. Basically, it's not. It's money, but it's really not money. It has the appearance of money. People use it as money, talking about these FRNs, but it's really not money at all. What it is just a weight, of money. And when I first heard the term universal basic income, what I thought about is the word universal, which means to turn into one, and pretty much dealing with the so-called New World Order, everything being turned into one, into one like currency, basically having everything, as right now, as we see the world, right? The world is pretty much turning into like a cashless society, where there will be one currency, and that currency will be through the microchip, through digital entries into the computer. So that's pretty much what I thought at first when I first heard him say that that term. So this is just my take on it. That could lead to the mark of the beast, but I wasn't thinking about the hyperinflation part of it, because that's what they're using pretty much right now to finish destroying the dollar, because the dollar's already destroyed, but they're pumping more and more money into the soup, so to speak, because their plan is to crash the dollar so that they can justify them putting everything, online, through digital entries, which is digital currency, whether they call it blockchain or whatever the case is. It's all being set up for the purpose of using the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, to pretty much have not only your money, but all of your information on there. And this is what they're pushing forward. And this COVID-19, CV-19, whatever you want to call it, coronavirus, this was pretty much a master stroke on the left-hand side from these international bankers to put the world, in a position where they wanted it at, to be able to push this mark of the beast, because that is their goal, to have everyone on the planet chipped. So that's what I thought about when I heard universal basic income. I'm looking at the word universal turn into one, and this situation is helping turn everything into one. And the hyperinflation, what it's doing is destroying the so-called currency that is out here now, which are the FRNs in the denomination of dollars, whether it's $1, $2. Well, they may still have $2 out there, $5, $10, 20, 50s, hundreds, and when you go back to Zimbabwe, they had, I believe, $10,000 bills, $100,000 bills, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the result of hyperinflation, and you'll notice the prices of goods going up. And what's happening is it's not the price of the good that's going up, it's the currency that's being used that's being devalued to where you need more of that currency to buy what you would normally buy for $1, $2, whatever the case is. So that's what it's leading to. And people are looking at it as free money, like Elder Apostle Tara said, they're going to use it. What are they going to use it for? To buy Jordans, to buy cigarettes, to buy, furniture, to buy flat screen TVs, to buy shit that devalues once you buy it. Like my man Ving Rhames said, guns and butter, So they're going to be using it for stuff that is really worth nothing, really, at the end of the day. So that's, pretty much my take on it, And like I said, there's a scripture in the book of Micah, the 6th chapter, which speaks about the rich, and it speaks about the scant measure. And when you look up the word scant, mean that there's insufficient there. And what makes it insufficient is that they have divers weights, and the way they have it in the ancient world, they had these weights that were made out of different metals, and they weighed them. I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably made them out of wood and different things, but dealing with the metal itself, they would weigh a certain amount. So if you're buying grain or whatever the case is, you would put that weight on there, and that once the grain or whatever you were buying balanced out with it, that means that was 5 pounds or 2 pounds or 10 pounds. And then you would give the money for it. But what they did was they falsified the balance by making the weight less heavy, or making the weight to where the benefit is going to the people that are selling to you instead of to the actual person that's buying. And that's what these FRNs are doing. They are false balances into having the people think that it's really money when it's not. Real money, according to the Constitution, is supposed to be expressed in dollars, which is just a weight, but only gold or silver coins are supposed to be minted for money in this country. And that's the true riches, true money, which is gold and silver. And even the scriptures speak about that. I mean, you have land and all of that and animals, but gold and silver, those are the two main things. So what they did was so people wouldn't have to carry around all that gold, they would store it in certain places. Today you call them banks, and they would receive certificates. And those certificates, depending on how much real money you had in gold and silver coins, they would give you a certificate based off of the coins that you had. You might get a $20 gold certificate or a $10 silver certificate, so on and so forth. And that would actually alleviate the individual from carrying all that weight around, and also from being robbed, by, people that would rob, stagecoaches or whatever the case is. But what happened was they started to, the people would never go and claim this gold or silver. So they started clipping it, and they started issuing more of those notes than the gold that was in circulation, so to speak. Or the silver. And what happened was it would start to devalue. And that's what they're doing here with these FRNs. They're pumping more bills, and they have nothing like silver or gold backing it. They do have the oil backing it, but they don't have the silver and gold backing it. So what it's doing is it's making the currency depreciate. And then the depreciation is where you get inflation and ultimately hyperinflation. And when you get hyperinflation, that's when the money pretty much is worthless. Back in the Republic in Germany, the people that had the currency, they had racks. and they would take the racks and use them to burn as wood to warm themselves or to eat, rather than to try to buy actual wood, because it was cheaper to burn the money to cook and to be warm than it was to try to buy the wood, with those devalued paper. It would take you a whole basket of that currency to actually buy a loaf of bread or buy food, you know. So that's a product of hyperinflation, and that's what's you're starting to see a little bit of it. You're seeing the inflation kicking off, but eventually, with this universal basic income, what's going to happen is, like the apostle, it's called hyperinflation, and really they're doing that to destroy the dollar in those denominations, and everything is pointing in that direction. Scriptures say that the poor and the rich, the bond and the free, will all receive this mark in order to be able to buy or sell, to conduct any type of business, whether you are into selling merchandise. So with this devaluation is coming the new currency for the new world order, which is the microchip, the mark of the beast. And as each day goes by, they're enhancing that technology more and more. As the scriptures say in Daniel, that knowledge shall increase. So that's pretty much my take on it. I can't really read any precepts. I quoted a couple of things, basic things in the scriptures. And like the Lord said, a false balance is an abomination to the Most High. So with that, that's my take on it, on the universal basic income. That it's going to lead to the mark of the beast, the pushing of the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, because they're using it to devalue more this currency of the FRN, because now they pretty much got the world where they want it. So the next step is to fully implement and push this microchip, which is the mark of the beast. So with that, and I pray that you've been edified. Till the next time I say shalom.